everyone, my name is Doc and this is the THC Launchpad. In today's episode, we are talking about cannabis, merchandise, and swag. I talk to a lot of business owners and aspiring business owners, people that are looking to get into the cannabis industry. And I think one thing that kind of unites everyone, especially at the beginning, is they have in their mind this idea, oh, we're going to sell swag, we're going to sell merchandise. That's going to be a part of our business model. And while I am all in favor of great, exciting, cool cannabis swag, it is not as easy as just saying you're going to do it. You really need to put some thought into it. So we're going to go through the different things you need to think about when you are doing cannabis swag and what the scenarios are of, when it makes sense for your business, and whether you're doing it as part of your branding or as a way to make money, or in, some cases both. So first of all, for most businesses, having cannabis swag that you are handing out or that you are putting onto your employees when they're going out and doing sales, when they're at events, when they're in the store, etc. That's really a no-brainer. And it's just a pretty inexpensive way of marketing and branding yourselves. So yes, go for it. And as you're developing that kind of swag, you want to think about a few things. And one of the first things you want to think about is this swag specifically for internal use, meaning people on my team, people within the brand, our brand representatives, even if they're outside, going door to door, whatever it is, doing sales, they are going to need a different type of swag. You're going to have different considerations than if you are thinking of like, oh, this is swag we're going to sell or swag we want our customers to be wearing, even if we give it away. And so just as a starting point, I can use this one example. One of our clients had developed some swag that was not really, they didn't even really have clear brand colors, so they just had the logo, but they developed these baby blue t-shirts with their logo on it. And one of the employees saw it and was like, oh, I would never wear something like this. But they were going to be wearing something like this because this was specifically for them to be wearing at events and when they're going, like I said, shop to shop and doing sales. This was to represent them. And so one of the key considerations was it was going to stand out in a crowd. When you see it, your eye is going to be drawn to it in a way that if you're making a personal choice about the t-shirt you're going to buy, you may not want the baby blue t-shirt with the brand logo on it, because it's going to stand out, and it's probably not, especially in the cannabis industry, it's probably not going to be your vibe. But is it the vibe of your brand? Is it the vibe your brand is going for? And like I said, those are two different considerations. And so when you're designing the swag for your team, this is swag I'm wearing right now, for example, you want to, think about, okay, how is it going to present to others? How is it going to present to my potential customers, my potential clients? And is it, are we going to be wearing it in a situation where we want to stand out? And so just an example I use when we are talking about logo design and branding, is it featuring a big cannabis leaf? Because if it is, it's not going to stand out. You're in the cannabis industry. There is cannabis everywhere. You're in the dispensary. You're surrounded by cannabis. So the thing with the cannabis leaf on it, in this case, the t-shirt or the hat or, the jacket, whatever it is, that's not standing out. It's the opposite. It's just blending in with everything else. And so whether it's the colors, the logo, the type of swag that you are branding, whatever it is, when it's for your team and for kind of your sales team, your brand ambassadors, you want to stand out and you want to, you probably use bright colors, clear, bold writing. Your logo should be nice and clear, and not just falling into the cannabis cliches, because again, it's not going to stand out if that's the case. Now, on the other hand, if you are looking to sell your merch, or even if you're looking to give away your merch, now it's a very different scenario. Even if you're giving it away for free, that thing you're giving to your potential customer, maybe already is your customer, your potential client, or already is your client, that is representing your brand. And if you're giving them something that they're not going to want to wear, then it's just going to end up in the trash can. And that's obviously not what you want, because not only are you wasting your money, you're spending money to hurt yourself, because they're gonna like, I don't like this, and that's going to reflect on your brand. So when you're giving stuff away, the temptation is to go with the cheapest possible, because I'm not making any money off this. This is, I'm handing these out, and the more I can buy, the more I can hand out. That is the wrong mindset. If you've been watching these videos, you know it's the wrong mindset. The right mindset is, every person that I give this to, they're going to either like it or not. And some things you can't control. Maybe it's a color they don't like. Everyone has different personal preferences. But if you're giving them something that is low quality, that you didn't spend money on the design, that you didn't think about how they're actually going to use it, then you're hurting yourself. And so design your swag in the same way you would design your product to be, reusable, for people to want to have it, to want to wear it, to want to represent your brand. That's the most important consideration. And so if you're spending, a certain amount of money in your budget on the swag, and it's like, oh, if I bump myself up to this premium quality, I'm going to have 50 fewer to hand out. It's going to be a better investment, because the ones you are handing out are going to be more effective. They're going to be more appreciated. They're going to be more worn and more seen. And we're not always just talking about clothing and attire. There's a lot of different swag that you can be handing out, and it includes lighters, grinders, all kinds of things. And when you're doing that, and I covered this some in our video on collateral, but if you're giving out anything that you're giving out, if it's just going to end up in a trash can, then it's such a waste. And again, you can't control it all the time. Maybe you're going to give a really high quality t-shirt, it's going to end up in the trash can, because it's not the right size, or it's not the right color, like I said before. But if it's high quality, it's more likely going to be handed off to someone. Like, oh, this doesn't fit me, but I'll give it to, X. And so the whole point of giving out merch is that you want it to be worn, you want it to be appreciated, you want it to be passed around, you want it to kind of stand out and, get seen, and be a way of disseminating your brand name. And the only way you're going to do that is by investing in quality design, quality product. And whatever other things that you might be considering, whatever, when it comes to what it is you're going to be giving out, what it is you're going to be selling, all of those are secondary to that initial primary concern, which is, the thing that I am giving out, the thing that I am looking to sell with my brand name on it, needs to be quality. Because unless you're in this other category, which is you're just a merch brand, and I'm going to get to that in a second, then your merch, whether you're giving it away or selling it, will always be there to supplement your business. It is a marketing tool, and it's there to drive sales of your cannabis, to drive people to your shop, to get people to hire you for your services. Whatever type of business you are, the merchandise that you're giving away and or selling is there to support that business. And you have to remember that. And if you're giving away garbage, then that's what people are going to think of your product or services. But like I said, there's one other category of merch types of business, which is your business is merch. If you are in the merch business, then now that's your product, and what's the best way to move product? And maybe being the premium merch brand is not the best way of going about it, because maybe you're pricing yourself out, and it's often the case when you're trying to move attire, move merchandise, that, oh, I need to cut my costs so that I can move more product. And if I'm marketing it as premium, people will perceive it as premium, even if it's middle tier, or sometimes even if it's low tier. We can think of all of us a few brands where it is the low tier stuff that is selling the most. Because we all know price is very important in this industry, in every industry. And so if you are a merch business, the formula of how much you're spending on your merch is completely different, because now it's all, like I said, it's all about moving product. And I can't tell you the magic formula. That's something that you're going to be experimenting with over time. But now the primary consideration is, where is that sweet spot where, it's not too cheap that it's just, it's garbage, no one's going to want it, and it's not too expensive. It's kind of occupying a middle ground somewhere, whether it's where on that range you're going to figure it out. And so it's not too cheap, but it's got a perceived quality about it because of the design that went onto it. So I would say often, if you are a merch brand, it's what's on the t-shirt that's more important than the t-shirt itself. You're not going to want the cheapest t-shirt, but you're not going to need it to be the most expensive t-shirt either. And so that's kind of, again, the formula you're going to have to experiment with, trial and error with. But the mindset is very different than when you are a cannabis business that happens to sell merch, or you are a cannabis business that is using merch as a giveaway to help promote your brand. So I don't need to go into too much depth with this, except the last thing I want to add is, the design that's going on the product is really important, and it's worth the investment, especially if you're looking to give away a lot or looking to sell a lot, because the initial design might be expensive, but the more product you give away, the more product you print, the more product you sell, the more the cost is defrayed across, you're just dividing it by more and more product. And so that initial investment is really important. Make sure you have a quality design for whatever it is. And sometimes it's just your logo. And, oh, it's a lighter with my logo on it. Okay, that's easy. But when it starts to become t-shirts, hats, hoodies, again, like the hoodie I'm wearing now, available on our shop if you want it. I'm not here to promote our merch. I'm mostly kidding. But, whatever it is, the more high value the item, the more it's probably not just going to be the logo. And so having a good design, really important. If you are thinking about doing merch for your business and you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or to reach out to me. You can go to our website and get a hold of us. It's really easy, and we're happy to have that conversation. We love designing merch. It's one of the funnest things we do, coming up with the ideas, coming up with the designs. It's a lot of fun. And it's why what I said at the beginning, it's so appealing to so many people. They want to be in the merch business because it is exciting. And so, if you have any questions or any needs when it comes to merch, we're happy to help. And thanks for watching this latest video. If it's helpful, please like or subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time.